tool to learn disaster waste management. This video explains the specific actions and processing flow necessary for waste disposal and management after a disaster occurs, aimed at those who are in charge of formulating disaster waste plans and policies and handling waste on-site. For explanation, we will use the tool Online Training Tool on Disaster Waste Management. After watching this video, please try the tool. With this tool, you can learn the actions and flows required for disaster waste management and treatment in a game-like manner by dragging and dropping actions from the list on the right onto the flow diagram in the center. The occurrence of a disaster will be indicated on the left side. Time passes as you go from left to right. Flow and action for DWM. The flow of disaster waste management can be divided into two parts, the management flow and the waste treatment flow. The management flow is indicated by a light red arrow upward from the disaster occurrence. It can be divided into initial actions, planning and management, cooperation, and TSS area. Next, the waste treatment flow is indicated by a blue arrow downwards from the disaster occurrence. It is important to reuse and recycle waste generated by disasters as much as possible to reduce the amount of final disposal, such as landfilling. Management flow. First, we will consider the initial actions immediately after a disaster occurs. Initial response is the preliminary stage of disaster waste countermeasures and involves sorting out the damage situation. Next, we will organize the development of the overall plan. We will estimate the amount of disaster waste generated, formulate plans, and execute the plans. We also need to coordinate cooperation with the various parties involved. We will consider setting up a temporary storage site TSS area. Waste treatment flow. We have to consider the collection, sorting, and treatment of waste generated by disasters. If we just dispose the disaster waste, huge land would be required. It is necessary to set up TSSs and sort, reuse, and recycle the waste. Specific actions. You can see an explanation and a case study for each action. For example, please look at 2 Securing and Operating TSS. If you click Explanation, an overview of the temporary storage area will be introduced along with a diagram. Case study introduces specific from 3 categories: Advanced, Basic, and Minimum. We can consider appropriate actions, taking into account the situation of waste management in normal times. How to use the tool. Now, shall we use the tool and complete the flow diagram? It may be difficult at first, but give it a try. If you click Check the answer, the score will be displayed. If you had difficulty, please click Those who felt the program difficult. The background of each action in the list on the right will display the same color as the color in the flow. It might be easier than the first time. By trying the tool several times and referring to the explanations and case studies, you will be able to understand the specific actions and flow for disaster waste management.